to the studio. How are you feeling? Yesterday was mad. Can I just quickly show our audience what happened to you on that college campus? Now, that's just part of it. We've got other components of what happened there. But just hearing Nazi scum, I mean, you're someone who actually has stuck up for the Jews quite a lot, and you're very much into freedom of speech and religion. What exactly happened yesterday? Talk me through it.
Yes, so in collaboration with the president of the Conservative Society, we went on campus setting up a Turning Point UK stand. We have many on the way. We're planning to do a national tour coming out of the festive season, so it was a good sort of pilot to kind of re-engage into campus activism. We originally did it when we started Turning Point UK about 5 years ago, but unfortunately, even when Charlie Kirk was touring with us, we had activists violently trying to attack us. They even approached some students that associate with us whenever we're on campus. So there's always been a degree of, well, and this is a fault with like reform as well. Many people on the right just believe that we should capitulate young people in terms of their voting intentions, and being a young person myself, I'm not going to tolerate that sort of behaviour on the right. So we piloted it out at the London School of Economics. We went on campus, we had an hour of good discussions with mostly foreign students and us even existing. Then group chats were emerging, organising against us. There was a flash demonstration. They were protesting. They were saying that we shouldn't be on campus, including the students that were actually part of this university because of our supposed fringe and fascist beliefs, even though we were simply arguing for socially conservative values, in my eyes, are necessary for the West in terms of actually discipling young men and young women into the future.
You know, you make a really good point. I mean, I know it's overdone, but universities really did used to be the place that free speech was at its best, where you could debate, you could have discussions. I mean, I myself wasn't in university that long ago, and I got hauled in front of the dean 4 separate times because of things that I'd said that they didn't agree with, which really did actually lead me further down the path of, okay, I need to make sure that I'm standing up for it. Let's have a little look at what happened yesterday. This was a more kind of physical attack on you, almost. Let's take a look at that video.
I think you're stepping on my property. But look, the low IQ chimps, the ones that are unfortunately, you know...
Please do not call people that.
Well, don't protest the speaking event. So, for the intimidating woman with a valley on, do you want to speak on why...
Fascists off of campus!
The one you're talking about?
Fascists off of campus!
Be a traditional man and stop being afraid of women!
Pardon? So, I'm not trying to be petty here, it seems like you are. I'll try. However, I think it's fair.
Got to give it to you, young Bob. I mean, you kept your sort of your calmness, and you always do have that. You have a fantastic energy about you that is very sort of, you know, grounded and stoic. But I don't think I'd be able to keep my cool like that in a crowd such as that. I mean, those people, it's hilarious that they're talking about fascism when they're draped in the flag of a hard right regime that is hell-bent on destroying Jewish people, throwing gays off buildings, and curtailing women's rights. That's what that kafir and those flags are about. I mean, did you... Look, I don't want to get into it so much because it's a sensitive topic, and even I mean, I was bawling my eyes out on the night that Charlie died, and I had someone staying with me that was a great friend of his and had been working on a project over here to do with him, so I've been working with him every day. When you see this campus violence and this violence from the left, does it make you scared at all? I mean, obviously we don't have guns over here, but you know, what flashes between your mind when you're going through a situation like that?
Well, fortunately, the London School of Economics is one of the highest rated unis in London, and it's also, they have a document by the president about freedom of speech. So they're one of the universities that actually tries to preserve the amendments that are fought in the US and what I believe should be enshrined in any country. So I was actually very excited and also very calm because I understood that these are like, you know, commie students. They have a spoon fed up them, and they also are just the white savior complex on display on campus. So I don't really consider these people a threat. However, in Turning Point UK's past, we've gone to areas like Sussex University, where a professor was actually chased out because of their views on transgenderism. So there are, and we've even covered protests in Bristol where Antifa have thrown bottles of glass at us. So we understand that there are some areas of the UK that are essentially no-go zones for conservatives, and that is absolutely shocking considering, like you said before, universities are the way that we develop our philosophy. Many philosophers came out of university on debating their professors. Essentially, you only have a surface-level political ideology if you're not challenged. And that is why critical thinking has always expressed itself through debates. And we don't have debates. The biggest form of multiculturalism, like I keep on banging on about, is the multiculturalism of ideas, and that is what Turning Point kind of ultimately pushes, this understanding of a broad church conservative organisation which enables young thinkers to kind of express their opinions to people that they traditionally never engage with, because unfortunately the people that are in opposition with us don't want to engage with us because they know that their position doesn't hold any water. I mean, let's just assume that what they say actually goes through in terms of kicking off the president of the Conservative Society just for his beliefs and his association with me, and me, who isn't even old enough to attend university. And that's sort of the novelty of myself. I was able to hold my own with several, on occasion, university students, whilst I'm not even old enough to attend university. And they were on some pretty heavy topics on philosophy, religion.
Yeah, they try and get you with their, oh, I've read a book once type of thing, you know? I mean, no, Pete's laughing now.
No, I just think, I always laugh when someone says, oh, I read something. No, what you actually mean is, I watched a TikTok.
Yeah, correct. But you make a really good point. It's quite insane that a lot of them are destroyed by a 17-year-old, be it, to be honest, you are a phenomenal 17-year-old with real, there's something going on my mic. But yeah, I think that the public execution of Charlie Kirk while he was debating in a university should not be lost on us. And when I see that college campus aggression still happening after the death, that's what makes me really worried.
Yeah, so essentially, my sort of hypothesis surrounding the demoralization of his assassination has just come from the fact that young people have been exposed to very graphic material. If you look at the average age for someone to consume pornography, it's about 11. If you look at, for example, how many people anecdotally as young people have seen gore, it is enshrined itself within social media, then enabled people to just think that this is a typical Tuesday. So I think that we really need to look at, and I think the way we counteract this is through social conservatism, and especially, in my eyes, Christianity, because it disciples young men and young women in a way that actually appreciates, firstly, their country, secondly, their culture and history, and thirdly, even themselves. I mean, how many of these people probably are just reflecting their own insecurities when they're calling me a fascist?
Yeah, you're so right. I think it's also, you're right, you touch on this gamification of society where, and even we did obviously see that in the murder of Charlie, because the guy sort of, you know, he wrote "Hey fascist" on the bullets, which still gives me chills to think about today. But you do see that it was all just sort of a video game to him, and it was something, I mean, I'm just speaking in how I saw it, and he was clearly detached from reality, and he obviously had that transgender girlfriend, boyfriend. I mean, he wasn't exactly rooted in Christianity. I mean, why do you preach so much about God, and what led you to that? Were you always quite a man of faith, or was it something that you came to?
Yeah, so interestingly, I also run the CEO of the faith-based partner of Turning Point UK, which is Cross and Corner, and we do similar stands on mostly Christian topics. And the reason why I am such a man of faith, a man of the cloth, is just simply because it saved me so much in my secondary school. I was hospitalized about 3 times. I was beat up heavily.
Oh my
and
gosh.
yeah, I was extremely lonely, and I was sort of like this a very Republican cliche of being a failed drama student. I was speaking on Rishi Sunak's
At least it wasn't
comments.
a failed art student.
Yeah.
Let's just
I was
say.
commenting on Rishi Sunak's comments recent at the time on transgenderism, and I was like very weakly defending it and being diplomatic and just saying, well, for the sake of the argument, this is why people believe this, and you shouldn't really discredit their beliefs instantly. And they were all telling me to go kill myself. Now, considering that that was the only space that I felt comfortable in, I began to realize that these ideas, you can't be diplomatic with them. And one of the sort of faiths that holds this opinion is Christianity, this understanding that we must be separate from the world, this understanding that Christ came down with a sword, not in a violent sense, but